alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
Let's sell you as a single macho daddy type who is looking for a good time.
Yeah, I'm totally
from a
into
young
that.
honey.
I'm so into honeys and macho dads specifically.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I'm cool with that. I can do that. Probably have a kid.
So
somewhere.
we were just talking. I think something that I enjoy so much about this show is just regarding at least them. It's something that like gets me into like a bunch of different friendships I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And when I hang out with them, I almost experience like high school bullshit all over again.
Yeah, it's just like you know that it can happen so
Like
rapidly.
you know the way Lanky Lucifer was in high school.
Yeah.
He's the same fucking person
Fucking
now.
awesome. He was such a banger fuck in high school, and I loved every minute of it.
Oh, fucking banger, man.
I know, dude, banger. What a town. What a town.
So let me first start by asking you, before we get through the entire fucking thing here, the gauntlet. I'm gonna start to call it that. The fucking gauntlet. Now I just want to play that game.
I know, dude. I was just thinking that. I was like, fuck.
Shit. So
The blue guy.
first thing I gotta ask is you've listened to this show before.
Yeah.
You know, we're past 100 episodes at this point. I have to like ask how you felt about your experience with any of them.
Well, when I first started, it wasn't really crazy. You know, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then the obsession grew. And then I was listening to the podcast like every minute, just everything I did, just taking a shit, masturbating, eating Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to rehab for a while. So this is my first time back.
I said no.
Feels good.
No.
Yeah, but I said yes, yes, yes. But no, dude, it's
That's
been
fantastic.
great. It's been cool. It's been really cool because like you started off and it was like a little shaky, and I thought like not shaky in a bad way, just like
No,
yo,
but
we're
it
new
was.
at this shit.
But it was.
Yeah, and you've had like a lot of cool dudes come on the show, like, and you've built it up to a point where you have options now to pick on what you want to talk about, which is cool.
You quickly have to understand the vast amount of. It is exponential, the avenues you can go down in this kind of structure.
Yeah, how do you pick?
It's not easy. It really isn't. I feel like I've been cataloging stories for 3 or 4 years, but I've only been doing the show for 2.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like in my time I've read No Sleeps in the past like 5 or 6 years, and I've just been like, man, that's so fucking cool. I would probably like listen to this if someone, or like if someone made it into a show or a movie, like I would watch it. And then I like started to think like, man, I should write stuff. And that's how like film and stuff, you know, I would start doing like short films and shit. So it's just like, I've always felt like a deep fucking connection to bullshit online horror.
That was the fucking climax? I was like,
was the
wow, this is going to
climax.
hit me right in the soul. And then it
That was
came
the
out
climax.
bullshit.
Bullshit online horror.
No, that's crazy, dude.
That is what
I love
creepypasta
it.
and No Sleeps are.
I fucking love
they're
it, though.
just they're cheap thrills,
But they're fun.
but they're fun.
Yeah.
And they distract you from the void.
Yeah.
So here we are. I wanted to christen you. This is
Shit.
This is another situation where it's just like I've probably I know you've listened to a bunch of episodes, and I also know that I've been trying to get you on the show for a bunch of episodes.
But I'm just so goddamn popular.
It's not even. Oh, yeah, man. You also like. It's no like random occurrence with you. Like it's almost like you ride in on a horse and you're just like, I'm here for a bit,
And I'm horny for all of you.
and then I'm like, okay, this guy, he can stay here.
I love you.
He thanks, man.
You're welcome, man.
So he man, to introduce you, getting to it, knowing that you should have come on the episode since like come on the podcast since like episode 70 or something, and now you're finally here. It's just like I've had a lot of time to think about what your name should be, and I'm not going to describe any of it, Not how it makes sense to me or how it's funny to me for you, but I will get into describing why it's funny for a basic audience.
All right, go. Shoot me. Hit me with it.
Dr. Enkenstein.
Dr. Enkenstein.
So sit with it.
In the house.
Marinate in it. Think about it for a second.
Make it a bath around your soul.
So Dr. Acula has been taken already, but let's also forget that Dracula was nothing but a pimp who slept in a castle.
He's like a creepy, rapey pimp, dude.
No, he had 3 fucking wives at the same time.
Yeah, but he like brain controlled them all.
Yeah, he did.
Like he did. He got in there. He was like, "This is."
Guy.
So did he technically?
You have a good point.
Did he have sex with himself?
Moving forward, I think like if you really think about it, Dr. Victor Frankenstein was actually a fucking doctor.
He was. That dude was a physician.
In an actual fiction.
America handed him a medical degree.
But if you take away, just like how you take away the first letters in Dracula to make doctor, you just don't do that, but you still take the letters away, and you get Drankenstein.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah. It's poetic.
I'm fucking in.
It's poetic.
It is.
I can only, like, the older guys hate me for this, and they hate me for saying shit like this, but it's just like, I love drawing the newer characters for the art I do for this show because they're just so much more creative than the first couple names.
Oh, dude. Because you can just run with it.
Like, I'm sure Django probably would have named himself something else. No, you know what? I'm seeing him on Wednesday. I'll ask him if he wishes he could have changed his name by now.
I bet you he says no. He says no. Fuck it. I'm a fucking OG. So no.
Yeah, probably. I feel like Frowns has told me that he not only wishes he could change his name, but change his cartoon. And I said, absolutely not. You were the first. You are going to look like a 5-year-old.
You have to.
You are going to look like a 5-year-old drew your picture.
Bro, but I don't think you should get an option on that.
So I don't know if you saw the picture of Lanky Lucifer.
I didn't see the picture of Lanky Lucifer. I think I might have because it's on the background. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I'm just picturing like a really long stick figure devil.
Oh, no, man.
From Banger.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Yeah, I can totally see that shit. That's exactly how he sounds. He looks just like how he sounds.
I based it. This should be obvious for the listeners out there. If you see the artwork, it's based both off of the devil from Cow and Chicken had a baby with one of the demons from Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Adult Swim. And it's also my friend's face, a caricature of it that makes him look mentally handicapped.
Which he's not, though. But his voice kind of sounds it. And
he's a beautiful, beautiful individual.
Yo, he is, dude. He's a looker.
Okay, well, let's not blow him. All right, he'd like that.
He would.
I think he asked me to kiss him on the last episode.
On his penis or on his mouth?
I don't want to think about it.
Because it was probably his penis.
It was probably his dick. It was probably his dick. Now you said it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Gotta put this shit on silent, eh? Gotta put this shit down.
Shut it down.
What the fuck are we doing, man?
I'm not sure. I was just gonna ask you that.
Let's talk about it.
We went from introducing me to both blowing Mikey Lucifer.
Yes, I will cut there.
Cut that out.
And that's where the cut is. Leaning in, I have to say we are on. I am on edibles. Are we on edibles?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you take? You said you took one.
I did, and it was good. It was worth it.
I ate a nibble of the sour square.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Did you like it?
I am feeling it now. Is what I am going to say.
Dude, we just turned into like announcers.
Can I try some of that?
Yeah, dude. It's really good. It's called can I read you the story on it? Because that's why I bought it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Dr. Enkenstein here, mixing his potions, showing me his wares.
It's fucking great. So, I was at the liquor store like 3 years ago, and I was like, you know what? I need to get into like bourbons and shit. I'm a man now, right? So, that's obviously not true still. But I passed this on the shelf. It was like Hooker's House Bourbon. And I was like, that's absolutely hysterical. I have to buy it just because the name's awesome. There's like a pair of legs on it. So I like turned around the back. I was like, oh, is there a story? And there is, and it's true. So basically,
Oh my God, is this your first creepypasta? All
Yeah.
right. This is Hooker's House bourbon.
woo.
Buy it on a bottle in a store full of alcoholics.
Yeah, try to maneuver your way around. Just look for the girl with the legs on it.
Look for the old man who wonders where his life went.
Or just, fuck. Anyway,
Say it.
or just, Dr. Enkenstein.
Or just see Dr. Enkenstein.
He'll be there probably, like a cutoff t-shirt.
I was gonna say the immigrant cashier.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say be that person.
Yeah, you could do that. You could
Anyway,
do that. Anyway, God damn it. Hooker's House Bourbon. Hooker's House Sonoma-style bourbon honors the infamous General Joseph Hooker, a Civil War veteran, Sonoma resident, ladies' man, and bourbon aficionado. That's a fucking dope word. I'm going to start saying that. We have hand-selected 6-year-old single-barrel bourbon from a Bourbon Belt rickhouse, double-barreled in vintage Pinot Noir barrels, and blended it with Sonoma spring water.
that's wine, dude.
I know, dude.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that.
That shit tastes crazy.
Did you ever chew on bourbon?
No.
I'm going to teach you how to do it, like in 1 minute. I'm going to finish this and teach you.
Great.
The bold and spicy character of this bourbon is matched by the general's sometimes outrageous and indulging lifestyle. Although his military practices are often questioned, his love of bourbon and women cannot be. The spirit and legend of General Hooker lives on in Hooker's House Bourbon. And I further looked it up that the word that we use all the time to describe a female who's selling herself for sex, a hooker, it got its name because he would hang out with so many women, they'd call themselves the Hooker's Girls. And then it dropped from General Hooker's Girls to just Hookers. And 2018.
That's fun.
Right?
That's history.
Yeah.
That's what they should be teaching in schools.
I fucking
nowadays.
agree. I agree. How excited would you be about history if you were like, yo, Civil War shit, there was a guy named General Hooker. You'd be like, yeah, really? What'd he do?
Hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So teach me.
Okay, so
What's the thing?
basically what it is, you know how like when you drink red wine, you're supposed to like chew on it?
Sure.
Same shit. So you just like drink it like you would, just a little bit, and then chew on it, swallow it, and it like opens up so much more.
With
Probably is a
So
better
here's let me teach you
Go ahead,
because
teach me.
you were we're gonna do a wine thing at some point.
Cool.
What I do with wine is I actually, if I'm eating, I will take a sip of wine and swirl, and then I will also put the meat while I'm swirling into my mouth and
Damn.
chew the both of them together.
Dude.
And it's a flavor enhancement.
Wow.
When you have like a thick brown sauce on, like coming out of the steak, mixing with a red wine in your fucking gullet, man.
Dude. That's
It's next-
literally
it's next
like
level.
It's a laundry
But when you're
machine flavor.
when you're just drinking wine though,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I chew it as much as I just kind of breathe it in.
Yeah. That's like real
So
sexual.
let me drink this how I would drink wine.
All right, try it. Spicy, but it's really good.
I kind of flush it back and forth over my tongue while breathing in a little bit of air, because it just coats your entire tongue while you're also getting a little bit down your throat.
So flavorful.
At the same time.
Your whole
And
mouth's
you're
full of
just-
flavor right now. I know it.
It's on fucking fire.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a little spicy, 100 proof.
It is fantastic, though.
It's good, dude. It's good.
It's an experience. It's like a cigar.
It really is. With an awesome name. Are we going to get like... I hope they hear this shit and they just send us barrels of Hooker's House.
We're not quite at that point yet. Give me another 5 years.
No, we're going to send it right to these motherfuckers.
We're sending it?
Yeah, I'll send it to Hooker's House Bourbon in Georgia.
I fall into the conversation all the time when I bring up the podcast with people. Like, I have to say at this point, I've been offered money from people.
Really?
And I have to just say, like, I decline it.
Kind of like a hooker.
Wow.
Yeah. Full circle.
No, just a slut. Just a slut.
Cheap one.
Just a slut. Because I do it for free.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So I'm not a hooker. I don't take the money at the end of the night.
Damn.
I just fuck for free.
God damn, I love you.
I do. You want to get out of here?
Yeah, we should.
We
Feels like it.
I can't accept money from people because there's absolutely no way that this is more than free media. There's no way that I'm going to accept anything more than spending a time with someone.
Yeah.
And cataloging it publicly.
That's cool.
And because I think our commentary is witty. I think the stories can be fun, and there's also a critique aspect to it. And it's also a free, creative atmosphere in which the charismatic and enthusiastic can thrive.
Yeah, I agree.
With characters and with acting, and you kind of get an experience out of it. And I think being on edibles, that sounds like fun. Part of me wishes we were reading plot holes again.
I know, dude.
But we got to do the randoms.
Okay, I'm surprised you haven't.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking excited. Everything we've done since 100 has been fucking gold so far.
Wow, fuck.
Introducing new people, always a fucking pleasure. You are the second of like 5 new people I have lined up over the next 20 episodes.
Dude, you know what they say.
That you're just going to keep coming back, and we're going to keep doing something new. We're going to keep hopping in, and next thing you know, it's going to be fucking next summer.
Yeah.
And we're going to be tripping fucking face, and we're going to read a fucking story.
All right, awesome. That sounds great.
So, we're doing fucking randoms today.
Let's do it.
We're bringing it back to the classics, and by that I mean, like, we're probably going to be hitting on a couple creepypastas, a couple Reddit no-sleeps. The difference between the two, I'm not sure what your relationship with either of these medias are.
See, that's the thing. I've read creepypasta before, but like recently I just haven't done any of it. So I'm like into
Yeah, no, we did it when we were in junior high. We did it when we were little and thought stuff was cool.
That still is fucking cool.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. I think the right thing can be. I find creepypasta more hit or miss than Reddit No Sleep, because Reddit No Sleep is written in a way where at least they're trying to sell a narrative, and at that point you have like a 50-50 shot of coming out. Like,
See, now I gotta check it out.
great on the other side. Well, that's what we're doing.
Oh, sick.
Well, that's what we're fucking doing.
That works out great then. Killing like 20 birds with one stone.
Do we want to start with this one?
Yeah, fuck
Or
it.
do we want to start with a shorter one first?
No, we'll start with this one. I like the title.
Yeah, the title's kind of funny. The first story we're going to read is called The Dating Game. And we don't typically divulge personal lives too much in the show, obviously. But it's you're recently single.
Yep.
And how is the dating game going?
Dude, dating game is fun.
If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we totally can. I have no problems with that.
I just think it makes the story better that you kind of have a connection to the material already.
No, that's true. That's true.
The reason I tagged Disco to this is because he was single at one point. And the reason he's not on the show anymore is because he has a girlfriend. I'm going to play a sad trombone right there.
Poor Disco.
No, he's very happy, and he's a great guy, so he deserves to be happy. And
does he?
Fucking his girlfriend as much as he wants.
No, that's fucking stupid. He doesn't deserve to be happy at all. Just kidding. Happy away.
He is gonna come back for an episode sometime soon. I wouldn't doubt that he's gonna be in the next 10 episodes somewhere.
You make sure you tell that motherfucker.
We're reading Stephen King. I'm tempting him.
Oh, shit.
I'm tempting him.
Yeah, you gotta bring him back.
I'm saying I got 2 great Stephen King short stories that we can read together that I won't give to anyone else on the fucking show if you just come back and read this material with me. Because he's a bitch for Stephen King. He'll suck his dick.
Dude, that's kind of like, that's literally the book version of, yo, bro, I got these 2 bitches back in my house. There's twins. Do you want one? That he has to come back. If he says no, there's nothing in this earth that would make me not be there at that moment. So if he says no,
Stephen King?
Yeah, if he says no to Stephen King in that same reference, he likes guys, dude.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to look at it. So,
anyway.
This is The Dating Game from Creepypasta.
I'm excited. I'd been single for a while, and I was sick and tired of it. This guy already sucks. Being 32 and single is no laughing matter. I mean,
well, it's because he's old.
Oh, yeah. Well, what is he like on a fucking clock? Like, you're 32, your sperm's good for like another 20 years,
That's
dude.
a good point.
Seriously. Like,
He
there's
needs to make
55-year-olds.
games while he can.
Exactly. Be single. Fuck. Anyway, the traumatic experiences of watching your friends get married, have children, and attain the American dream are akin to the hopeless depression of the schizophrenic mental patient.
Let me add to that by saying something. Let me say something real quick. It is very possible to date someone and also not want to get married, have children, or attain any sort of American dream.
I agree.
So, you lovers out there, you keep doing you.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Don't let the world, don't let it close you in. Don't let it label you. You do you. You fuck how you want to fuck.
Yeah, you can fuck if you want to.
You can fuck your friends. And if your friends don't fuck and if they don't fuck, well, then your friends are fucked, right? That's how the song goes.
That's how I
want to.
remember.
I just think like my mind goes to like the fact that I am dating someone right now, which is the other funny side of this story. Because you're single and I'm dating someone and we like flip-flop.
But you were single for a long time, so it's like this is still kind of relevant because you know how it feels. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Fucking A. Anyway, also, no, this just like the comment about like doing the shit that you want to. Like, I wish this is the shit someone had told us like 10 years ago. Like, bro, the American dream doesn't have to be marry the first girl that you date, like have kids right away, buy a house, and like start a family.
You know what the funny thing is? I feel like even as I almost tried to do that with my young adult life, I also kind of look back on it and realize I wasn't trying nearly as hard as I thought I was.
That's actually really interesting.
So I can at least say, like, man, that didn't happen because I didn't really want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just let it fall away so I could, like, move on to something else.
But that's good that you did that, because if you didn't do that, now you're 26, like, you would regret it. If you got married to the person that you were dating 4 years ago, and this goes for like so many people out there, you'd be miserable right now.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Right?
It's tough. It's really tough because there's still so much of life exploring to do at your young age.
There is.
If you cloister yourself to
one.
I wouldn't even say it just like that. I would say like if they limit you at any way at all, you are already missing out on adventure of a lifetime.
You are, and you need to listen to your fucking friends who are like, "Hey man, this girl's not good for you."
Listen to your podcast friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Telling you right now.
I'm a fucking doctor. You gotta listen to me, man. I'm telling you.
He has a PhD in fucking.
My friends from behind.
It also stands for. I can't even make a proper anagram without thinking of that song now.
I love that song so much.
Shit.
We're going to have to play it. Anyway, sorry, fuck. Okay, I'm going to reread the last sentence because...
No, start that I wanted a wife.
We wanted a wife. No. I wanted a wife. I wanted kids. I wanted a steady job.
I don't think so. It's like adding to it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if he really wanted this. I'm sorry.
No, I laughed at it.
I was tired of working at Burger King.
Kill yourself.
I know, dude.
No, don't do it.
You're 32 years old working at fucking Burger King? No wonder you're single, you fuck. Like, go get a job, dude.
Fucking shit, dude.
Damn, go, like, sell used cars or something. Like, Burger King's fun, but, I mean, damn, work for Wendy's at least. Fuck. Anyway, I was tired of working at Burger King and living alone in a studio apartment, and I was almost certain I memorized 90% of porn stars on the internet by name, dude. Not even screen name.
Wow.
Damn. Did he have like
I think he means name.
Oh, you think he means like acting name?
Persona.
You think he has like flashcards with all the names?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's called his dick.
Awesome.
That's how he remembers each of them.
You know, he probably has like different bottles of lotion.
Who you get off to.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Anyway.
Disgusted.
Yeah, disgusted by the company of my left hand.
This is a man's man. This is an everyman. This is the protagonist we needed.
This is great. I decided to go out to one of those speed dating events. This guy's my hero.
I actually have gone to one of those.
Was it awesome?
No.
Damn.
Absolutely not.
Really? That's a shame.
No, I mean, it still ended in something.
Yeah.
I think I still had sex. So I think,
worked out great.
I just, very quickly got out of there
Dude,
afterwards.
you know what though? Like, you can go through any kind of bad experience, but if you get to have sex during it, that's always it makes it a little better.
Even if sex was just okay, or
Yeah.
even kind of bad, still had sex.
I still had sex though. Like, my car lit on fire, my house burned up, I didn't have any insurance, but like, I banged the insurance lady, so it was all right. So it wasn't bad.
I fucked.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I picked out my
Never apologize.
I picked out my best garb and walked out the door. Keep in mind,
nerd.
I know. Who the fuck's this garb?
That burger.
How long did he try it? I worked at Burger King. Keep that in mind. So the best clothes I could afford were some mediocre dress shirts and tattered khaki pants I bought at Walmart during a clearance event.
This is real G.
Dude, now I feel sad for this guy.
It is.
Right? I walked into the event trying to display the shred of confidence I had left. Wow. I was instantly discouraged when I saw all of the other competing males and their Armani suits, high-class whiskey in hand, and auras reeking of nothing but pure self-esteem and conceit.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, for real, dude. I definitely don't have Armani, it's Polo, dick. Dude, this guy.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, the ladies there were dressed in fine dresses, some of them quite low cut, and smelled like a flower garden. Designed by Martha Stewart herself. Now I'm thinking about Martha Stewart's titties, thanks.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though.
That is, dude. You asked me what I got off to earlier, and that's what's been in my mind. But
Good
anyway,
housekeeping.
Yeah, good. John Stamos. There were some serious lookers in there, and I swear my pants shrunk a couple sizes at the sight of some of these dresses. What does that mean?
It means he had a boner.
How'd the pants shrink? Oh, got
He
it.
tented that.
Yeah, got it.
He
got
walked
it.
around full girth, letting everyone
All right, cool.
get a peek.
Got it. He was peacocking.
He was peacocking.
All right, cool.
He was peacocking. You heard it here from Dr. Enkenstein.
You did. He was peacocking. This motherfucker's peacock. The speed dating started. The first girl I sat down with was quite young, a 22-year-old mother of 3. Damn. She had made a lot of mistakes in her life. 3 I mentioned earlier.
Ah, shit!
And seemed far more than I could handle. Right off the bat, she told me about how she was 4 days sober from What the
I picked the wrong time. Quit methamphetamines.
methamphetamines. This girl was just on crystal meth and was looking to settle down with a nice man who didn't look like a walrus. This is what I don't understand about women.
This is what I don't understand about Tinder.
It's true though. But like, okay, so if a girl has these qualities about a guy, like, oh, I can't settle down with a walrus, but I'm 22, have no job, just coming off of a crystal meth binge, and have 3 kids, but like, oh man, you're only 5'6", that's so unfair. That's so unfair. But anyway, I spent the next 4 minutes making general small talk, quite literally fearing for my life. Once that buzzer sounded, I rocketed out of my chair with the speed of a gazelle. The young woman seemed offended. But honestly, what did she expect? I agree. The next woman was way too old for me. I had thought that these events were age-regulated and had different meetings for people in different stages of life. Wrong. I'm no pervert, but the whole idea of taking her shirt off and seeing 2 runny eggs nailed to the wall did not appease me.
That's so fucked up.
Oh my god! Nah, I'm thinking of Martha Stewart's runny eggs. My decision was finalized as soon as she brought up her grandkids. Oh, dude. Wow.
I'd still fuck her.
Would you fuck a grandma if she was hot?
Absolutely.
Same, dog.
If she was hot?
Take the grandkids mini golfing the next day?
I don't know about that.
Alright, you're right. I can hardly handle 1 generation of young ones, much less 2. I asked her if she needed help getting out of her chair after the buzzer sounded. Again, another dark look.
That's pretty funny, though.
That is awesome, man.
I was batting over 2.
But such pitches were ones that I would
Sports
gladly
metaphors.
let the catcher have. Wow. The next woman seemed much more appealing. She was 26 and studying to be a nurse at a local hospital. All right, here we go. She loved kids, but had none of her own, which was a relief to me. She seemed well kept and stable and wasn't a bad looker either.
Psycho.
She's crazy. She's fucking
She is
crazy.
fucking nuts.
You go back to that grandma, you nail her, and have her make you breakfast in the morning. Like, that's what you do. Get away. He's not gonna. No lie. My eyes did wander a bit south a couple times during the meeting. She either didn't notice or didn't care, as she never pointed it out. I asked her if she'd like my number as the session ended, and she consented. I flipped open my phone, and entered her number as she read it out. You're 32 working at Burger King, have a flip phone.
I think that's kind of perfect.
That's true. Smiling at her and thanking her for her listening ear. No wonder I had been single for so long.
He's even acknowledging how fucking gay he sounds.
Yeah, dude, this is awful. I got up to the next table. While doing so, I closed my phone by accident and realized that I never saved her number. So it was lost forever.
For the love of 0 for 3. How about you just turn around and say, oh shit.
Yeah.
That just deleted itself.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk to you, so please, give me your fucking number.
Dude, this guy's terrible decision makings.
Oh, it's
Wow.
so easy to make yourself look like a fucking dipshit in front of a girl, and if she likes you, she will do whatever you say.
Yeah, and she obviously is into him. I don't
We're
understand.
playing the dating game
This
right
is
now.
fucking crazy. The next table was empty. Well, fuck. I mean,
I
what's the
jerked
difference?
off.
You're over 3. I used my right hand this time. What a joke. If I
I
wanted...
call her Jessica Alba.
She's on one of my flashcards of the porn girls, too. If I wanted to sit and stare at a wall, I would have stayed home. Nothing really to say here. Moving on.
What if it was a ghost? And
Maybe
he
it
was
was.
just like, I ain't into ghosts.
What a piece of shit.
He ain't busted.
You can't say you're not into people,
Ghost
man.
busted.
He was ghost busting.
He was.
He's all alone. Is that what masturbating is? Is it called
What if
ghost
he's
busting?
killing all the girls?
Maybe he is. 0 for 3. 0 for 3 made it alive. Poisoned all her drinks.
She just left. She had to take a shit.
Yeah, she had to go. Really, her stomach was falling out of her mouth, but whatever. This is where the story begins getting dark. Dude, it was already dark. The woman I had met... yeah, dude. The woman I had met at the next table was the most interesting of all, but not in a bad way. Okay? She had long, flowing dark hair and green eyes. She had this cute smile, and man, what a tight body on this one. Black dress, black shoes, black everything. Skin? For someone dressed in such a gothic manner, she had such a bubbly personality. Everything I said made her giggle, and I felt like a king just talking to this girl.
Sounds like my fucking girlfriend.
Oh, that's awesome. Especially the black skin part.
I'm ready to hear that she's a murderer.
I know, that's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
She was... Go ahead.
We gave my girl a name on the show. Thotimus Prime.
Thotimus Prime? That's who they were referring to last week. I was like, what the fuck is Thotimus Prime?
Thotimus Prime.
I love it. Do you call her that during?
It means the center axiom thought.
Cool. That's
Do you
deep,
know what a
dude.
thought is?
No.
Like a giant fucking slut. Like a giant fucking slut.
Oh, dude, I thought you meant like
biggest
THOUH. Oh wait, no, TOUGHT.
It's THOT.
Yeah, I thought you meant.
Beyond thoughts?
Yo, I thought you meant Thotimus Prime. Like, this girl's the center of my fucking world. I was like, damn, the center of my world's hot wings.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
You took that in a completely different way.
I did. Now I enjoy
She'd
it
like
much
that.
more.
No, it means the main slut. The big boss slut.
Your main hoe.
The slut at the end of the road.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Thotimus Prime.
You know what? Girls should take like pride in that. Like, I'm that dude's main. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal. That means. Sorry.
Read the story.
Jesus, I'm sorry. She was 27 and currently unemployed. Damn
no
it.
shit.
Here we go. She was married to a husband before. Here we are. But he had left her after their 2 children died of leukemia.
I got 4 red flags.
Yeah, right away. She told me that the cancer was entwined with her lineage
5.
dating back as far as the 18th century. Therefore, in numerous fits of emotional rage, her ex-husband blamed her for giving the children cancer and left. Too pained by the loss of her entire fucking family, she moved to the city a few weeks ago and was living on unemployment, unable to continue working at her job due to the crippling depression and panic she suffered as a result of her abandonment. Run, dude. Run.
That's nuts, because part of me is just like, man, she's probably real cute.
Yeah.
She's probably real fucking cute.
Yeah,
and she probably sounds really fucking sincere. But you hear all of this, there's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
Dude, you had me at something wrong. At leukemia has been passed out into her lineage since the 18th century. So one, you're gonna love this girl like a fucking movie, and then she's gonna die from leukemia probably.
Keanu Reeves.
Right? Two, if you have kids with her, your kids are gonna die from fucking leukemia. I don't see any win into that. But I had sex with her though.
But I fucked her.
So it's
I
alright.
fucked her though. God damn it.
Anyway. Wow. Despite the torment in her life, she never seemed depressed about it. Either she was incredibly optimistic about life, or she was one of the best actors I had ever seen. Either way, I was willing to take a shot. I asked her if she'd like my number. It turned out she had some bad meetings at this particular convention herself and wanted to take off to do something more fun. Cool. She tossed me an invite, and seeing I was a lonely 32-year-old man who works at fucking Burger King, she didn't have to ask twice. I never understood what she saw in me over all the other guys. I was beaten and broken with no aspirations to better my current situation. Maybe she understood how I felt, considering all the pain she felt herself, and decided to get to know who I really was under this cocoon of emotionless insecurity. Oh man.
Girl fucking dick, bud.
Damn. I sensed the thread of compassion intertwined between all that stress and trauma, willing to lend an ear to anyone that felt the same pain as her. I was truly transfixed by her presence, drawn to her character. I had never felt like this before. Wow, dude, this is...
It's a cool next line, though.
It is, though. We decided to go to a pool hall. Okay.
Yeah, grab a drink, play some pool.
Redemption, you can, like, help her
That's
shoot.
fucking awesome. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Bond there.
Mm-hmm. Like, most girls know how to play pool.
Thoughtimus wants me to fuck her on the pool table.
Why haven't you? Like, you could do it, like, on every little ledge that you have, like, between the pockets, a different way.
6 different.
And you could put, like, you can, like, do a timer, and then every, like, certain seconds you go to a different area of the
show
pool
you
table.
the world.
I can fuck you on my pool
I'm
table.
near Jasmine right now, and you're showing me all the ways I could fuck my girlfriend on my pool table.
Yeah, exactly. I'm your magic carpet for fucking.
We decided to go to the pool hall.
Sorry, anyway, we decided to go to the pool hall. Apparently, she used to be a regular at another pool hall by her old house. She's gonna kick your ass, dude. Winning local tournaments and making a name for herself. And she wanted to check out the scenery here. I wasn't too shabby at the table game myself, so I was excited.
What if she, like, duels him for his soul, and he's like, okay.
All right. I can see that happening, dude. This girl's...
But you gotta blow me when I beat you.
Yeah, what happened, dude? She took my soul, but...
But I got the blowjob.
I got a blowjob, though, so I guess it was all right.
She wanted to do it anyway. By
Yeah,
the end of the game.
yeah, but fuck, that's a win. Every shot she made was perfect. The balls just sank into the pockets like each pocket was a black hole.
Tell me more.
Just waiting for something to trespass into its field.
That's what I call lovemaking.
Yeah, dude, for real. This guy is serious. Out of the 17 games we played, 17 games? Wow. These guys played 17 games. Out of the 17 games we played, I think I made around 23 shots. And she just kept running the table. It was funny because she kept apologizing for being so good. Damn. I waved the apology and complimented her on her skill, causing her to giggle more. Every time she laughed, they fell harder and harder.
My dick.
Yeah,
harder.
My pants got smaller and smaller. And to be honest, I was always excited when the cue ball landed on my side of the table, you know, because she bent over to take her shots as many pros do. This guy's like a normal guy.
I really, like, the way I'm reading this is almost like Lanky Lucifer is talking right now.
Really? In your head?
In my head, yeah.
That's because his voice is so sexual.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Damn, you're right.
Dude, we need to get him on an album.
He could be the millennials generation Barry White.
Yo, he could.
Let's get it together, baby.
Dude,
You wanna like get him over here so we can make him karaoke Barry White and then we could like remix it and sell it for money?
Yeah, because we can like pimp him out then to like
he'd do it.
Dude.
Oh, he'd do it.
He would. We can get him at weddings,
We'd make
kids parties. Maybe not kids parties, weddings, parks. We do it. Anyway.
We left after that.
After she kicked my ass at pool. She said she had to get home as she had some errands to run, being new in the neighborhood and all. I agreed. Since I had a Facebook application that I had to update, obviously I didn't give her that reason. Jesus, what the hell is wrong with me? Passing up an amazing girl for Facebook. Okay. So we exchanged numbers and parted ways. I couldn't believe it. I had actually scored a beautiful woman. Hell yeah.
I think this was written by a 15-year-old.
It was, dude.
Oh, no.
A 15-year-old poet, because shit, dude. He listens to a lot of Hawthorne Heights, this guy. Weeks and months passed on. We continued to talk and eventually began regularly dating.
Did you listen to a lot of Hawthorne Heights?
Yeah, dude, I probably wrote this shit.
Dr. Enkenstein strikes again!
The relationship moved pretty quickly, and it seemed we were truly matched for each other. After about 7 months of dating, I asked her to marry me.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
I popped the question on the 17th, as that's how many games we played on our first date. She found that so romantic and flew into my arms, screaming yes to the skies. Things were finally looking up. Man, this guy's on ID Discovery.
7 months.
Wow. I moved out.
I feel like I've had bowel movements longer.
For real, though. Like you ate that chalupa and you just haven't gotten to get it out. Just lingering in there. It's like swallowing gum. Like
That absolutely describes my feelings for all of my ex-girlfriends.
For real, though. Like yeah, dude. Can you just read this paragraph? Because I can't with this guy. I can't.
I moved out of my shitbox apartment and into her home. I always admired the cozy feel of her 2-bedroom ranch house.
It's Norman Bates, dude.
It might be. Something perfect to start a family in. As I was moving my final things in, I noticed how much of a mess I was making with my boxes of stuff and all. I apologized and motioned to the basement to finish moving my things. Her face instantly darted to mine. In a hurried and almost frantic voice, she assured me that she'd take care of the rest of my things and that I should relax. It was a bit odd, sure, but she had been through so much excruciating sadness throughout her life that her having a psychiatric illness is something I expected.
What the fuck?
I complied to her request.
Okay.
The next few months were great. We never got tired of each other, and on our wedding day, the kiss we shared on that altar was so fucking special that I firmly believe angels surrounded us and serenaded us with harps and trumpets. Riddly-doo. As our lips connected and sparked so brightly that the entire room was illuminated.
Dude, this guy's a serial killer.
I'll leave out the details of the honeymoon, as this is not a pornographic piece. She was always leery of me approaching the unforbidding basement, sometimes to the point of arguing with me about it. But aside from that, I didn't see any fault in her.
You know what? That's actually like if
We're
you're
just keeping a kid down there,
dude. But all right, so
chained to the wall, deformed.
Probably. I mean, but would you care? Like she gives you blowjobs, she lets you watch football.
Nah, man, bring the cuddly guy up. Let him live.
Yeah, I would never go to the basement. That's not my problem.
Until everything I knew about life was shattered.
Oh.
One day, she told me she was going to the grocery store. Just one day. I noted that I wanted some ground beef in order to make hamburgers for dinner. She smiled at me with that cute, adorable smile I have grown to know and love, and headed out. After climbing Burger King's corporate ladder,
You did it, buddy!
I had finally attained the position of regional financial manager for the entire state.
Wow.
I was working on some budget information, assessing the costs of all the franchises across the state.
Wow.
It was a long and arduous process, but I was getting just above 6 figures for it, so I wasn't complaining.
Cool.
After each report was fully completed and evaluated, I moved the files to a USB drive so I could upload them to my computer for a corporate meeting the next day.
Damn.
To my horror, with only 3 reports left to finish, the computer crashed. I know that feeling.
That's the worst feeling.
If I didn't finish these reports, I would surely lose my job. I called my wife, asking her if she had another computer or something I could use, but she didn't answer. I rummaged through the house to find something to finish these reports with no avail. Desperate times called for desperate measures, so I took the daring risk of approaching the basement. The handle was unusually cold, and the door was locked. Frustrated and defeated, I slumped to the couch in a depression. That is, until I realized that there was a specific flower pot that my wife always guarded with her life on a hunch. I went to it and found the key at the bottom of the pot, under the dirt. As soon as I opened the door, a rancid, intangible odor attacked me, like a falling wall from a decrepit building.
It was her kids, watch.
The entire basement looked as if it was wasting away, a clear contrast to the rest of the house. The heavy layers of dust upon every surface suggested that the basement hadn't been accessed in years. Using my cell phone as a flashlight, I guided myself down the stairs and flicked a light switch. Surprisingly, the bulb still worked. The walls looked molded. The wood was breaking down, the stench was putrid, and the entire place was in disarray. I encountered a strong sense of dysphoria after setting foot in the room, so I quickly searched for some old computer with the intent of running upstairs as quickly as possible. To my luck and astonishment, there was an old laptop and charger in the corner, hidden under some boxes and books. Oddly enough, one of the boxes was one in which she brought down after I had first moved in. I had not seen some of this stuff in a long time. Ignoring the nostalgia, I seized the computer and charger and raced up the master bedroom. After giving the laptop a few minutes of power, I booted it up. It ran on Windows fucking XP and was quite the technological dinosaur compared to modern equipment, but it had Microsoft Office, so it was acceptable. As soon as Windows finished booting up, a system message appeared on the screen, notifying me that new sources had been added to the tagged video cache, and if I'd like to check it. I had never seen a system message like this before. I know that snooping is generally taboo, but curiosity overcame me. I am weak like this man is. I fall into situations like this many a time.
Yeah, but like he didn't go into it looking for shit. Like, you know when a girl grabs your phone, she's going in so she can smack you in the face with a knife later, because that's what she wants. This guy's like, yo bro, I gotta finish my work. I didn't bust my ass over a burner making double cheeseburgers or Whoppers for nothing.
Regional financial manager.
This guy's made it in the Burger King chain.
I was taken to a hidden file that required a password to access it. Rolling my eyes, I moved the cursor to X out the program, when suddenly, something typed the password in for me.
That's okay.
A bit frightened at this point, I was sucked into the screen.
Now,
there were 4 videos entitled him.avi, 1.avi, 2.avi, and why.
Apparently this girl's a Dr. Seuss fan.
AVI. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. All 4 thumbnails were pure black. Curious, I clicked on the file entitled him.avi. I should have never done that.
Yeah, I would say, when the password typed itself in, I would have fucking burned the computer.
No, you wouldn't have. You would have watched.
Fuck, maybe you're right.
I would have. The video was extremely shaky and grainy. I could barely make out the figure of a man tied to a chair with some sort of metallic rope. That's called wire.
Yeah, dude.
A woman
Some sort of metallic rope.
moving as if she was floating on air, not moving a single bone in her body, but yet being able to slowly hover around the room, came into the picture.
Whoa. Yeah.
To my horror, she brought out a knife and started slowly cutting the man. The man screamed in brutal pain as the woman slowly cut him to pieces. Blood poured from his mouth and all his lacerations as the woman dug the knife in deeper. His clothing was slowly stripped from his body, and after each article was removed, she used a lighter to set all the newly exposed hairs on fire.
Oh my god.
Covered in horrific burns and terrifying cuts, the man had stopped screaming and was now simply bawling.
Yeah.
He occasionally screamed out, "Why? Why? My leg!" For that was all he could muster. Each time he did, the woman stabbed him again. She began laughing as the man began vomiting blood and entrails and entrails. She picked up the small solid pieces of the vomit with the knife and slowly licked the knife clean, giggling like a schoolgirl.
Oh, you know how unsanitary that is, lady?
Oh, AIDS. She then proceeded to gouge the man's left eye out while he was still alive. I couldn't watch anymore, so I closed the video.
Oh my god, dude. Is this a metaphor for what women do to men, like, after they marry them?
Yes.
Cool.
I think the minute a single cut started, the laptop would have been closed.
Yeah.
I would have been out of the house.
Hell yeah.
On my way to the cops.
Hell yeah, dude. I would have been... Yeah, you taking the laptop with you, right?
Absolutely.
Like, yo, I found this in my fucking musty-ass, moldy basement.
Protect me and make sure nothing happens.
Because this girl was hovering around the room. Like, do you have that type of security? Like,
I wouldn't have even gotten to that part.
No.
I would have said there is something wrong on this.
yeah.
And this is my girlfriend's. And I
Wife.
don't.
It's his wife now.
Oh, fuck!
He fucking married her.
Shit!
Yeah. Oh.
You want to take over?
All right. Dude, the whole time, I was literally listening to that in Lanky Lucifer's voice.
I'll try to read my next part as Lanky Lucifer, then.
Dude, it's great. His voice is just fucking magical. All right, here we go. Shaken and horrified, I clicked on one.avi. I had to know what was going on. This time, it was a young boy, about 8 years old, bound into the chair. He looked confused and innocent. I shook my head and fell into tears. Such a thing was not about to befall this boy. The video was of the same quality as the last one. However, the background was much brighter. They seemed to be in an abandoned household, falling apart and in ruin. The woman floated over to the boy, much like she did in the last video, and kissed him gently on the cheek. Oh, dude, she got... Oh, man. She slowly brought heat lamps, the source of the brightness mentioned before, over to the boy, one by one, until the entire video was white. After a while, the camera was dimmed so that the boy could be seen again. The innocent look once seen in the beginning of the video turned into one of excruciating pain. The heat lamp slowly began burning his clothes and skin. Bubbles and blisters began rapidly forming on his skin as he screamed in pain. As with the man in the last video, he screamed, "Why?" and was punished each time by being brutally lashed with a belt studded with pieces of what appeared to be broken fucking glass.
This is intense.
Dude, you know these like 90-year-old people are like, yeah, I did that to my kids.
Sinister was nuts.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
This is fucked up.
I mean, every little kid deserved to get hit at some point, but fucking with a studded belt of glass. The blisters began to boil as the child was roasted alive. Eventually, the screaming stopped and the boy fell into seizures. Oh my god. At this point, the same giggling in the last video could be heard again, this time even louder. She then took a knife and carved, "I deserved this," into the child's melting torso as he screamed. Eventually, the boy stopped moving. I closed out at that point.
What?
This story is insane. I needed to see the next one. I had to witness this. This had to be stopped. With such a determination, I clicked on 2.avi. This time, there was no one strapped to the chair. Instead, an infant car seat was in the chair with what seemed to be a newborn infant tightly strapped inside.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god! This girl's just going down. She's like Benjamin Button. Like the previous videos.
I just imagined the little Brad Pitt head on a baby.
That's what this was.
I'd put it out of its misery.
Yeah, I would too, dude. Jesus. Like the previous videos, a woman floated over to the child. She rubbed its head and briefly went off camera. She came back with the syringe and violently stuck it into the child's body, injecting a blue liquid into the child. Unique to the collection, the video began fast-forwarding. At first, the infant seemed normal, happy, smiling, and carefree. As the fast-forwarding progressed, the child grew more and more uncomfortable. It started coughing and wheezing. It began puking up a white liquid and began crying, almost as if it too was saying, "Why?" A dark bottle, fuck.
I would feel remiss if I did not mention that, oh man, never mind.
What?
I don't know if you've heard any of these episodes. Oh man.
This is just sick.
No, it's not even that. It's, Harold Heavy Hands really gets a kick out of me doing baby noises.
Do you want to do one?
At any point.
Do one.
Oh man.
Do it.
It's a lot. I just want you to know that you can't look at me during.
Okay.
I need to make the noise.
Oh, so
you
this
just
is-
need close your eyes.
This is kind of like when you're having
Just
sex
listen- just
with an ugly chick. Go ahead. That's creepy. That was good.
Thanks, man.
Dude, do you think that's what it sounded like?
Maybe, yeah.
That's-
I think more vomiting
Probably.
and gurgling.
Oh, that's awful, man.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Anyway, as we go on this fucked up road,
I would be remiss if I did not make baby noises for everyone to listen to.
you're all fucking welcome. A dark bottle was briefly placed in front of the camera, and the words "tasty juice" were written upon
That's
it.
some tasty juice.
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling my juice that. The bottle was turned over to reveal its contents.
You ready for the tasty juice?
Cause it's pretty good. A blue liquid that sizzled when it reached the ground.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Blood-curdling screams erupted from the baby as it fell into more of an unstable condition. As the shrieking grew closer to death, the same giggling in the previous videos presented itself, but this time it was far louder than before.
That's so fucked up.
Jesus. Determined to make it to the end, I fixated my eyes upon the screen despite how much they were tugging at me to look away. The woman was screaming in laughter louder than the baby was at this point. She floated over to the child again, unstrapped it, grabbed it by the legs, and to my utter shock, swung it headfirst as hard as she could against the wall. The child's head exploded upon impact, leaving cranial viscera and fluids draped all over the wall. The video then went black, and that's when I burned the house down, and I got the fuck out of there.
There's still one more video to watch, man.
Dude, I would, no. Done. I'd be done.
I wouldn't have even, I will already admit, I would not have even gotten this far.
No, me either.
Because I would have stopped at the first one and
Yeah.
immediately gone somewhere else.
I agree. Like a four.
With or without the laptop.
I would have been gone.
I would have been somewhere else
Same.
by now.
It's same.
In agreement.
For real, dude. Wow. Anyway, shaking.
You gotta imagine it's kind of pretty funny though.
Dude, wow, that thing would be dead. That laptop would be
No.
dead. Oh, you mean the baby smashing?
I'm talking about the baby.
Oh man, that'd be perfect.
Could you just imagine it though?
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Like, so there's one movie I could think of that kills the baby, and you know it's a horror film, and I'm not gonna mention it. I'm not even gonna fucking talk about it. But if this were a movie, it would be like that movie. And anyone who gets why I said that would probably understand.
And if not, you better ask what movie it is in private. Like, message him.
Because in that movie, the dead baby is, let's just say the dead baby is fucked. Is fucked.
Wow, that's terrible.
By a man.
That's awful. See,
Yeah, let's just say that. Let's just say that.
See, that's why, like,
So,
we should
imagining a Monty Python-looking floating demon lady just slapping a fucking
baby
against a wall like a cat in
Yeah.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Like, lady, it's not a dish.
Oh,
You got mad
holy
at.
shit.
This is a scary fucking
You bringing
story.
this home?
Yeah, I guess so. Here we go. Shaking, I forced myself to click on y.avi. Before the video played, I noticed that the file was modified within the last hour. Almost blinded by fear, I swallowed my apprehension, opened my eyes. This time there was just the woman. No other person was present. She was facing away from the camera and was speaking in a demonic tone. I can't recall exactly, but here's a paraphrased transcript of what she said. Hello. Clearly by now, you know that I'm not the person you thought I was. I'm a sick and twisted woman. I love this. It makes me so happy to see somebody die, especially at my hand. I know you're watching this, and I know you're terrified. The ghosts of those I have killed are swarming around you right now, telling you to pull away from the screen, to save yourself. Yet, you still sit there and watch, waiting for some happy ending or reasonable explanation as to the events you've just witnessed. There are no special effects here. What you saw was real. I love watching this footage, even so much as to pleasure myself to it, but I had to hide it. You couldn't know. Your lonely piece of shit brain would tell you to turn me in. You were so desperate for love. You fell in love with a serial killer. I mean, we call it this.
This is pretty great, though.
This is. The woman turned around instantly and I recognized the face of my wife. I couldn't even feel emotion at this point. I didn't know what to think. My memory had fallen to pieces. I didn't know where I was, or who I had been, or what I was about to go through. Everything in my life died as I saw the once happy and bubbly eyes that I once saw in my wife become vapid and emotionless. A smile crept across her face, one that makes me quiver in malaise upon the slightest thought of it. This wasn't possession. This wasn't mental illness. This was just evil. So evil. But the video continued.
So get this. Let me bring it on. Like, I'm not gonna read it. I want to bring something to the table.
You should just read it.
No. So listen. Let us say that this laptop has some type of sense alert. When it is booted up, when it is active, it notifies her somehow. Phone or whatever.
It has to.
And she knows the exact duration of each of the videos would get her, if she was notified,
home
in that amount of time to be there to fucking kill him before he gets anywhere.
Dude, I definitely could see that happening.
Because he'd have to make it to the last video.
I
don't think a regular person would have waited this long.
No.
But for the point of the story,
They did.
I think she's already behind him.
I think so too. She has to be.
Okay,
Like,
so
if
you're
I was-
following me.
Yeah.
You continue.
If I was making this movie, like that's exactly what would be happening. Yeah, anyway. It's a quite shame. I really loved you. We had this passion. Remember that giggle? I made you fall in love with me. I tricked you. I lied to you. And you want to know the best part? I knew you would find out. I couldn't keep the secret forever. Eventually, you'd find the key to the basement. Eventually, the stench would become too strong. Eventually, the decaying foundation would begin to topple the house. And eventually, you'd finally realize that my children never had leukemia and that my husband never left. I killed them. And they're closer than you think. Why do you think the basement smells so bad? You'd be surprised how easy it is to cement human remains into the floor. You accepted my dead children and husband. Feel proud of yourself. I know you're watching this. I just made this video. I know what you've done. I began shaking my head, fearing what I knew I was about to hear. A cold sweat crept upon me as I suddenly felt two eyes bore into the back of my head. I was paralyzed. Those noises you're hearing aren't the pipes. Turn around. I slowly turned and froze as I met the psychotic eyes of my wife. She began to giggle. I don't know what happened after that. I've been told by the police that people heard screams coming from my house during my attempted murder and called the police. I was told by physicians that I was violated with the sharp end of a screwdriver and that she placed a block of hot ice on my lap. A block of hot ice? How does that happen? I was tied to a chair, the same one as was used in previous videos, and was videotaped. All the videos are now in police custody, and I refuse to see mine. My wife was given the death penalty because I was the fucking judge. I was present at that execution. Good man. Her last words were to tell me that she would never leave me, that she would always know where I was, that she would never give up on my murder, and that she never left a job unfinished. She was sure to tell me that I would see her again, that she sent another minion to finish the job. She finished by telling me that I would never be safe. Ever. She survived the first 3 attempts at lethal injection, but died on the 4th. She was smiling, and she giggled like a little schoolgirl right before she died.
I just giggled like a schoolgirl.
Dude, we should have shot this girl. Like, I wouldn't have wasted 3 lethal injections over her. Yeah, for real. I have been through extensive therapy, and years later, I have been able to overcome the horrific trauma I saw and experienced. Good for you. I still make 6 figures a year. I have made a good network of friends, and my life has been incredible. I feel accomplished and successful, something I have never felt before. I am now confident, so confident, in fact, that I'm going on a date tonight with a girl. She's cute too, with this long, dark, flowing hair and vibrant green eyes.
He's got a type for psychos.
Dude, that was a wild story.
Yeah, that was fun. So I don't mean to make it sound weird, but that story was originally down for Disco D, and I think the reason for that was because he's kind of like the lost episodes and like dark web kind of guy.
Yeah.
Dude, like we've spent so many episodes just talking about like snuff films and shit.
Yeah.
Like when you really fucking think about, I mean, have you seen many deaths
And like
in your life?
I mean, you think that I would see, like, more, but, you know, as far as family and shit goes, like, the typical stuff that happens as you get older, like your grandparents, which is the worst, you know? Obviously, like, some younger family members, but, like, not that many. I'm not, like, you know, a coroner or anything.
Yeah, in my time on the internet, I've seen a lot of gruesome shit.
Dude.
I've wandered to the very depths of the interwebs at certain points, and 4chan, man, shit gets nuts.
Dude, fucking A. How does it feel, like, when you watch it? Like, like, you know, when it's someone's time to go.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Crazy.
No, it's terrifying. I've seen, like, cartel footage.
Shit.
Like,
Is that shit real?
Absolutely.
Like, they cut you up in pieces and shit?
Oh, terrifying shit.
Whoa.
That they do to people, and then to send a message, they send the video to someone of what they did.
That's literally terrible.
They did to someone. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
That's awful. I'm just thinking about her runny eggs.
The runny eggs.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh man.
Man.
Oh yeah, I'd sleep with a hot grandma.
I definitely would sleep with a hot grandma. Sure.
Oh.
I mean, even if her house smelled like mothballs, like I'd be like, yeah, man, this grandma took me back to her house, smelled like mothballs, but I fucked her though, so I guess it was alright.
I feel like this is also a fun story for you, so I'm gonna read this.
Read it.
3 girls came into my ER last night, and I have no idea what they are, and I am violating the shit out of HIPAA right now. This is from Reddit. No sleep. New source. Right? Your first one was creepypasta.
This is Taking My Virginity here.
Okay.
Cool.
So I've been working at the same hospital for years now as a nurse in the ER. I've seen a lot of things, all kinds of horrific shit. Blood and gore, and just about every household item you can think of inserted into some guy's rectum.
Cool.
Sounds like Lanky Lucifer.
It fucking does.
I've seen limbs ripped off. I've seen intestines coming out. Almost 10 years working in an ER, and you're going to see a lot. You're going to be hard to shake.
Yeah, it's true.
But last night something happened. Some girls came in, and I've never been scared like this. I've never had the feeling of I have no fucking idea what's going on, and I have no idea what the fuck's going on with this patient the way I have with these 3 girls.
Let me tell you, that's the scariest feeling in the world.
That has to be.
It is. Like, when you walk out of the room
You've
and you're
spent
like,
so much time studying and knowing
Yeah.
things, and seeing something you don't know what
Yeah.
to think about could be very unknown.
It's scary.
very terrifying.
It is. It is. Especially for someone who's that experienced. Like, you generally see things again and again and again and again, and there's so much data comes out, you can study it. But man, 10 years of actually practicing medicine, and you walk out and you're like, fuck.
Dr.Enkenstein, everybody.
Sorry.
It was a sad, fucked up story to begin with.
Uh-oh, here we go.
One of those men who gets off kidnapping girls and keeping them prisoner in his basement or garden or shed. Real sicko. But those poor 3 girls were found and rescued and brought right to us.
Gotta skip it to death.
There's a movie starring Brie Larson. It's called Room. Really good, based on this concept. We've also read a story. Let me think about which one it was. Kidnapping girls and keeping them prisoner in his basement. Fuck, why can't I think of it?
Just call it the news. I mean, fuck. It's all the time.
Oh, man.
You're sick, man.
Split was also kind of based off of that.
That was a fucking good movie. It scared me.
We read a fucking story about that, but I can't think of it.
It's scary.
Anyway.
Fuck it. It was a fucked up story. Man. Yeah, gotta do it.
Now my hospital isn't that big. I'm real high, man.
Yeah, man.
There's about 5 of us who've been trained to take a rape kit, and there were 2 of us on duty for that last night. Me and this new nurse named Laura.
Ooh,
She's maybe been with us for 6 months.
Bangable.
We were both paged to a set of examination rooms that were made up for special for such a horrific occasion, but aside so, they're a little more private. They're subtly different, the assault victim rooms. A little less sterile, a little more comfortable, with few extra chairs for the cops to sit in while they interview the victim. I expected reporters and wackos to be everywhere, but by the time the girls were brought into the exam rooms, it was all just whispers and gossip. Those poor girls, pulled out of some pervert's garage. Those poor girls, they can't even talk. Who knows if they're even from here? Oh no, I didn't want to talk about a story we read. I wanted to talk about a real-life serial killer.
Oh, fuck.
That did this shit. The fucking toy box killer did this shit.
I've never heard of this
guy.
guy.
He used acid and MK Ultra tactics to erase women's minds. He would kidnap them, keep him in his basement for 2 or 3 months with his wife, and they both would fuck this person and torture this person.
Jesus.
And then he would acid wipe their fucking skulls and brains and then toss them back outside.
What the fuck, dude?
And they would all, have to go through therapy and recover, and, it was all just treated as, they were like drug addicts or something or whatever.
Wow.
And these people got their lives back together, but they would always, for the rest of their lives, start to have like nightmares about the things they've been through but can't remember. And at one point, one of them spoke up, and then, you know, I think something like 27 years later, into this dude doing this.
27 years?
This dude, like, died in jail at the age of, like, 90-something.
See,
he got away with it for so long.
Dude, that's such a waste of resources.
This is
guy,
an actual fucking thing.
This guy should have been fucking murdered. Like a minute. But like, boom, gavel, done. We're going to acid wipe your mind and then murder you.
He had a system. He kept people alive. He kept He kept people right at the brink of it, and he didn't get off on killing. He got off on dominance, on slave, on power, on all of that shit.
So did his wife, apparently.
And his wife did too. And the only reason it stopped is because the wife was just done with it.
And they probably had some really good sex together. Like, not him with the people, but
did.
like those two guys.
Yes, they did.
Oh,
Probably had to have.
Yeah, like,
but he died in jail at the age of like 90. Like only like 2 years into his fucking.
That's crazy
thing,
shit.
You know, and something like maybe eight girls all stood up and got him fucking.
That's crazy.
Put in prison.
Correct
me if I'm wrong, any listeners. At least that's what I remember regarding the toy box killer.
That's I gotta look this guy up.
I watch and I've seen last podcast on the Left Live. I have listened to all of their episodes on their show. They do a wonderful 2-hour-long podcast
on him
about at least one episode on the toy box.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna check it out because that's fucking.
It is haunting
creepy.
shit. It is haunting.
These people exist, man.
It was almost like Saw. He would wake them up with a tape, and on the tape it would just be his voice saying, you know, welcome to hell. Like,
wow.
Like, this is gonna be the worst for you, but if you don't hurt me, if you don't hurt my wife, if this could be a breeze.
That's wild.
For you. You're not gonna get out, so don't try.
Damn.
Just fucking suck it up and do what we say, and nothing bad will happen, and you'll be free in, you know, a month. You'll be free in 2 weeks.
Except we'll just, we'll rape the shit out of you for.
And then they'll rape the shit out of you.
Can you imagine knowing this guy, like, on a personal level? Like you work with this dude. Like, every day, you're like, yeah, Steve's not a bad guy. Turns out he's like...
And then you find out when he's, like, 60 that he's a...
Yeah. Mass murderer?
That he's a fucking...
Not a murderer, but
fucking... Mass murderer, but
whatever he is.
Sick.
He's a sick motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You do that...
Yeah, but Mike was always... Mike was always kind of crazy.
Yeah, he always was kind of fucked up. I knew it.
Maybe they're international sex slaves.
Wow.
One of the other nurses suggested to me
two nurses.
As I passed by her on my way to my first exam. After examining each of them, one by one, I have made the following observations. None of them seem capable of speech or making any noise. They can communicate with simple gestures, but I don't even know if any of them are literate.
Great.
They all have the same eyes. I don't mean the same color, I mean that looking them in the eyes, you get the feeling that you're looking at the same person you just saw in the last room. They're blue with flecks of gray, and I swear that all of them have the same exact patterns of flecks. They all have an identical bump on their back between their shoulder blades that, in my professional medical opinion, is weird as fuck. It could be some kind of congenital condition or birth defect or repetitive strain injury, for example, if they've been forced to balance something on their shoulders or to hold a certain position for long periods of time. I have a feeling that they're clones.
That'd be wild,
perhaps.
Dude.
You never know.
Yeah.
Reddit No Sleep, it's a wild place. They're all losing hair at an alarming rate, merely laying back to allow me to do a pelvic exam.
Oh,
more on that later.
That's the worst.
Made each of them lose handfuls of hair on their head. Handfuls of hair on their bed? On the bed.
Yeah. Got it. I know what you meant.
Could be from malnutrition, vitamin D deficiencies, or others, so I thought until their blood work came back.
That's what I want to say.
They are in perfect health, have not been drugged, and are not dehydrated or malnourished, even though they have the paleness and pallor of women who've been kept hidden for years. None of them have the corresponding vitamin deficiencies or health problems. It seems impossible to me that any of these women were held hostage for any length of time. They're probably healthier than I am. And I've had access to healthcare and the ability to go outside a dank little garage. This is where it gets
Oh,
weird.
it wasn't weird before.
They have no visible genitalia.
What?
That's right, that's what I said. Each time I went to perform a pelvic exam, I saw the same thing. Nothing. No vaginas, no labias, nothing. And might I add, no anus?
Pooping's like the best feeling ever.
They look like Barbie dolls, except Barbie dolls might be a little more detailed.
Can you just imagine that person in your head?
I don't want to.
I don't want to, but I did it.
Laura and I met up in the middle of the rooms and took a little break in the supply closet to frantically whisper about these women and what we're supposed to do. What are they, and why do they look like that, but what about their digestive
That's
systems?
what I thought.
Were all perfectly valid things that the young, inexperienced nurse asked me that I, the old pro, was supposed to be able to answer, but I was even more lost than she was. What I want to know is what the pervert was keeping them for. I couldn't help but voice the thing that's been bothering me. Had he done this to them? Some kind of sick experiment in cosmetic surgery? Was it some kind of human centipede attempt that we thankfully interrupted in time? Should we get someone from gastroenterology in here? Laura asked. What if he sewed up their digestive system?
What about the reproductive systems?
It wasn't right, though. There was no scar tissue. No sign of a recent operation, and if they'd been like that any longer than a day or two, there would be plenty of evidence in their blood of the toxins building up in their bodies. Nothing made sense.
That's true. How'd they process all that shit?
No, I told her. I'm going to try to communicate with one of them one more time before we decide on a course of action. I left Laura amid the blankets and towels, folded and stacked helpfully on shelves, and went back towards the assault suite. That just sounded weird.
You did.
Back towards the assault suite? That's where we keep the assaulted ones.
Yeah, but that sounds like a room.
It doesn't sound great.
No.
I
change
passed
the
at
name.
least 5 police officers on the way. Did they know? I couldn't help but wonder. Did they know that these weren't normal victims? I knocked quietly before letting myself into one of the rooms, and I heard someone stop talking just as I entered. The girl was still sitting on the bed, black hair longer than I remembered it being, and vaguely Asian features. It's the North Koreans. They don't have buttholes. It's Kim Jong-un.
Dude, this is it. He was right the whole
Her
fucking time.
eyes were bluer than I remembered.
He can talk to dolphins.
My name is Claire, I told her. I'm the nurse who examined you. I'm a lady this entire time.
Dude, I'm confused.
Do you understand English? I asked. And my only response was a solemn nod of her head. Can you speak? I asked. She neither shook her head nor nodded. She just stared at me with those blue eyes swirling with flecks of gray. Where are you from? I asked her again, but only got that same response. How old are you? Again, nothing. You have some physical abnormalities?
Bitch, you ugly.
Have you ever been seen by a doctor before? I asked her, but no response. The way she looked at me seemed to change somehow. I sensed a flicker of hostility, anger, maybe, or resentment.
Maybe because you had a butthole and she didn't.
It was not a professional question to ask, but my mouth formed the words before I could stop myself. Are you a human being? The girl's mouth dropped open, almost too far open, and no sound came from her, but from all around us there was screaming erupting from all sides. There was a commotion in the hall as the police officers ran to the other victims, the ones screaming now for no reason other than the question I'd asked the only one of them was still silent. The next 20 minutes or so after that was a blur, but I know that I got up and I left the hospital immediately.
Good girl. Good girl.
I don't even think I clocked out. I didn't even grab my bag, didn't even give a shit about my post-shift cigarette. I'm probably fired right now, but I can't go back.
But you're alive.
They're still not on the news. I don't know if they ever will be. I don't know if the cops know what they're dealing with, but I'm sure not going to be the one who tells them. I can't stop thinking about it, though. What are they? And what if they weren't the victims? It looks like they picked up into a different story.
Are you fucking kidding me? Is that the end of the story?
That was the end of the story, yeah.
Wow. Damn. That was like, I was expecting some like epic ass climax. Like, you know.
No, it's left,
like
it's left open-ended.
Huh. So what do you think, like, do you think she ever got contacted by the fucking things?
Oh, I think she's dead.
Oh, she's probably dead. Maybe that's why the story
They
stopped.
probably fucking found her.
They probably did.
Fucking murdered her.
No butthole.
No butthole.
Another body. Another no butthole. I'm sorry, man. That's awful, dude.
I think we should look for like one more good one.
All right, deal.
One more good one.
Deal. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, this one's called We Never Knew We Had a Basement.
How do you not fucking know?
Which is almost like the dating game all over again. Hey, what's in the fucking basement?
Mom, we had a basement? Really? It's finished the whole fucking time?
It's my fuck chamber, Billy.
I see.
You're not allowed down.
Oh, Mom. I mean, between these stories, I mean, fuck. Smashing babies like dishes against the wall.
That's a good point. Maybe he doesn't want to be down there.
Yeah, maybe he does. I don't know. Between the ages of 2 and 5, my family lived in a house that a family friend was renting out. It was a nice house. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a big kitchen. The whole package deal for only $250 a month, and that included the utilities. Too good to be true. We were told when we moved in there that there were only 2 floors, the ground floor and the upstairs floor where the bedrooms were. Okay. I remember when we first moved in and I was exploring the backyard, I had seen a window down at the very bottom of the house. For some reason, it had unnerved me so badly, I immediately burst into tears.
Pussy.
Yeah, what the fuck is a window? Since my parents couldn't get me to explain what had spooked me, they simply took me inside to calm down.
Oh, wait, he was a 2-year-old. Never mind.
Was he 2?
Bad.
He was 2. Oh, it was between
2 and 5.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, so maybe you just looked at a house and started crying. This is pretty fun.
I mean, you're still a little bitch. I mean, grow up. God. And then, this window was a source of fear and unease for me until I moved out when I was 5. My parents assumed that I would grow out of it, and I did, but not until we moved out. I could never place why it creeped me out so badly, but I avoided that part of the yard like the plague. My most vivid memory of my childhood happened in this house. I had been asleep in bed one night when a strange thump from upstairs woke me up. I've always been a light sleeper, but I fell back asleep too quickly for the thud to really make a difference. Cool. I woke up again to a heavy, awkward breathing in my ear and someone kneeling next to my bed. When I opened my eyes, I saw the pale, thin face of a man peering back at me. I screamed. He booked it, and my parents brushed it off as a nightmare, but let me sleep in their room for the rest of the night. His parents just brushed off pedophilia like it was nothing, like it was a cold. A week later, my 13-year-old sister woke up everyone in the house by screaming at the top of her lungs. She claimed that she woke up to a man matching the one I had seen crawling into her bed. She described his breathing exactly as I remembered it, causing me to burst into tears. My parents were not pleased. My sister and I slept in their room. Okay. Challenge accepted. Food disappeared really quickly. Mom always just said that it was having 2 growing children and my dad in the house. Sometimes things we moved from where we left them the night before, but that was also brushed off. My sister assumed the house was haunted. My parents assumed she was just being paranoid. Your parents sound fucking stupid.
There's someone living in your house?
Yeah, dude, there's someone living in your house. Breathing
I've seen
on
this
you.
shit on YouTube. It's pretty crazy.
You gotta watch ID Discovery, man. She'll blow your mind. All this shit happens all the time. For the next couple of years, this continued on. Food disappeared, things were moved, and we occasionally had nightmares about the same strange man. When we tried to convince our parents that we weren't just dreaming, they brushed us off and insisted we were. This obviously caused a lot of tension between my sister and my parents. Yeah, no shit. The night of my sister's 16th birthday came the encounter that brought about the end of our stay there. My sister woke us again, screaming at the top of her lungs, but cut it out too quickly to be normal. My parents, concerned, went to check on my sister and found a strange man in dirty clothing pinning her down and covering her mouth with his hand, like they've been telling you about for fucking years. A fight broke out between the man and my dad, but the man was nearly 72 and weak from starvation. It didn't last long, and soon enough the man was subdued and the cops were called. My mom kept my sister and I in the living room while the cops checked the rest of the house for more people and signs of the man breaking in. Can you imagine if the dad got the shit beat out of him by a 72-year-old? That'd be awesome.
Maybe he was in the war. Maybe
Yeah.
he still had a mean right hook.
Yeah, maybe he fucking did. Instead, they found a door leading into an unfinished basement. When it closed, it blended in with the wall enough that unless you knew it was there, you would never see it. We had never even noticed it, and apparently the family friend who owned the house hadn't even known about it. The one little room was full of pictures of my sister and I in the yard taken from that basement window. The reason I had always been so frightened of that window came to light. The man had been taking photos of my sister and I for years. The first day I must have seen a flash of some kind, or maybe the man himself. The man was mentally unstable and claimed that he was in love with my sister and that I was their perfect daughter. I mean, stable people, do they do that? Fuck. He also claimed that since my sister was now 16, that she was old enough to give him another child. I'm not certain what happened, but I do think that he was sent to an asylum instead of prison. Out of the many fucked up things to happen to me over my life, this one still takes the cake.
And that was from Reddit No Sleep as well. I don't know if you know much about Reddit No Sleep, but that's actually pretty standard Reddit No Sleep.
Dude, that is a wild-ass story. How pissed would you be at your parents?
Oh, man.
Right?
It doesn't even have a value.
No.
It's an unbelievable amount.
I've been telling you this fucking guy's trying to rape me for years, and you just brushed it off like a nightmare. Go back to bed. Mommy's a wet spot. It's a nightmare. Fuck, dude.
Let me look for something else.
Yeah, man. Whoever comes up with these stories, I hope they're not true. That's just scary shit.
Dipping into unsettling stories. This is actually one of the better sources we read on the show. I guess you've had a smattering of creepy tonight. Mm-hmm. You've had a flight of creeps. Let's give you the darkest one of the bunch.
The other one
or possibly the grossest.
Okay, I'm in.
This is called An Unlucky Samaritan.
Great.
Unsettling Stories.
Excited.
When I was 17, I was in a head-on collision with another driver. I think I was unconscious for a minute or two after the impact. When I came to, I was confused and couldn't feel any pain. I couldn't move much, though. Something was pinning me. A downward glance showed me what it was. There was a metal rod impaling directly under my knee, through what the doctors later told me was my patellar tendon. It had pushed through the tendon, lifted my kneecap, and driven itself up the length of my thigh.
Oh my god.
It wasn't too deep inside. I could see it bulging under my skin.
Yeah, that's when I would be freaking out.
A minute later, I felt everything. I screamed and screamed, thrashing for a bit before realizing any movement only intensified the pain in my knee and thigh, and then I looked out the cranked windshield and saw the other driver. His devastated skull sat on his neck like a mashed fruit.
Wow.
I could see his tongue lolling out of his ruined mouth without a lower jawbone to hold it in place. It hung down to his Adam's apple. The remaining eye stared unblinking at the damage its owner had caused.
Dude.
Another wave of impossibly acute agony surged through me, blurring my vision and forcing me to bite down on my own teeth until I felt at least one molar crack. Some part of my consciousness registered the fact I was hyperventilating and worked to calm my breathing. A couple moments later, the wave had passed. I realized no cars had come upon our accident yet. I tried to reach into the back pocket of my shorts for my cell phone, but there was no way the rod in my knee would allow me that much movement. In exchange for my attempt, the unbearable pain resumed. Only I'd regained my senses. I'd looked again at the remains of the other driver. There wasn't much I could make out. It looked like he had a beard. Hair was puffing out from the skin of what might have been his cheeks. Even though he was the one who'd caused me all this pain, I felt bad he was dead. No one deserved to have that happen to them. While I studied the gore with morbid fascination, the man's neck jerked and sent the fleshy wreckage of his face flopping back and forth. He jerked again. This time his shoulders and torso moved as well. I gagged as the movement forced his head downwards, and bits of his crushed brain oozed from the hole that was once his face.
It's easy to fuck now, I guess.
The man continued moving as if he was enduring a terrible seizure. My pain came back, unable to bear the sensation. I blacked out. It couldn't have been very long. When I came to, there was something wrong with the man's body, something I couldn't understand. The hole where his face had connected to his throat was stuffing with something.
Oh.
It slid out in a thick, wet mass onto the twisted steering wheel and dashboard. And from my vantage point about 6 feet away, I can only describe it as a worm or a snake. Still, it was unlike either of those things. The body was grayish-white and oozed heavy, milky yellow discharge from gaping pores which covered the entirety of its length. That length increased as I watched with growing horror. The return of the pain in my knee was unable to overcome the fear sweeping over me at the sight of the monster. Over 10 feet had unfurled from the carcass and had draped itself along the dashboard. It was lying on surfaces coated with pulverized glass from the windshield, and I could see chunks of it sticking in its pores as it moved. The thing didn't seem to mind. Once another few feet came out, I saw its tail end finally discharge itself from the man, and the parasite squirmed off the dashboard and onto the crumpled union of car hoods. The viscous, milky slime clung to every surface it touched and kept the creature connected to the contacted surfaces by thin ropes. It uncoiled completely, and its full length lay wetly on our cars. The smell coming from its body was thick and putrescent, with a revolting, cloying sweetness. I struggled not to retch, not wanting it to hear me. The pores stopped oozing, an unsettling peristaltic ripple passed through the thing's body. Ugly, flatulent sounds leaked from each pore, and I saw something moving inside them. With an explosive jolt that caused me to jump in shock, bright red tendrils burst out of its pores, each one about as thick as a pencil, and every pore contained at least 20 of them. They grew and grew in length, some laying flaccidly on the cars, and some erecting themselves and flopping around like severed electrical cables.
This dude had venom in him. For real.
I screamed when a couple of the tendrils brushed against me as they grew, but seconds later every one of them pushed downward and dragged the main body onto the surface of the road. An 18-wheeler was driving towards us. It screeched to a halt, and I watched an overweight trucker stumble out of the cab and run towards us. First he looked over and saw the dead man was far beyond help. Then he saw me in my look of pain and terror. He opened his mouth, presumably to say he'd call 911, but the tendrils leapt into his mouth and throat before he could get a word out.
This guy's got a nice mouth. What are you gonna do?
The trucker grasped the thick cord of tendrils invading him and tried to pull. More shot out from the thing in the road and wrapped themselves around his fat form.
This guy's a savage.
Over the course of a minute, the main body had been pulled over to the trucker. Gradually, the tendrils retracted from the man's mouth, while the body forced itself into his throat. The putrid seminal fluid again began to leak from the creature as it pushed deeper and deeper. A little while later, it was inside. The man was soaked from head to toe with the vile substance. But he no longer looked afraid. He just looked calm. He turned around and walked back to his truck, leaving a trail of milky yellow slime. I heard the engine start, and the truck drove away.
Right.
Another car noticed us soon after. The paramedics were called, and I was brought to the hospital. I never told anyone what happened. I assume everyone was confused about what the slime was, but I didn't hear them talk about it. All they were concerned about was about the wound in my leg, which required 2 years to recover. I never saw the parasite or any hint of it again. It was another 5 years before I conquered my fear of driving. I've done my best to not forget what I saw. Oh, I've tried my best.
Why?
To forget about what I saw. No matter... You want to know why? Because no matter how hard I try, though, I still shudder when a truck passes me, and I see the driver through his open window. I know that thing is still in one of them. At least one.
This guy. Great, now I'm never going to be able to look at 18
Scully! There's a cum-glazed worm in that man.
Fuck it, like we know you will.
Mulder. No.
Not again. Apparently she was a huge whore.
Then I'll fuck it. No, he was the whore.
Oh, he was the whore.
And they also fucked a bunch.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, me too.
Scully's a dime.
Yeah,
Of course
Scully is a dime.
So, Dr. Enkenstein.
Yes, sir.
We've read a good amount of stories.
Yeah, we got some shit done.
You think this is a good wrap-up point?
I think so, bro. I think so.
Strawberry fields forever?
Absolutely, sir. Beatles are the shit.
So, out of the 4 of the stories, which one stands out to you the most?
I would excuse me.
Or which did you like the most?
I would say fuck. Moment. Weak lungs. Healthy lungs. Not healthy at all, they're black.
That's right.
Fucking Christ. No, they wouldn't work if they were black. But sorry.
No, that's right.
The first one. I don't like that.
Dating game.
Dating game. Didn't like that.
You didn't like a floating girl.
No.
Floating girl, dead baby.
No, that's like my biggest fear. Get married to a fucking psycho. Married to that
Baby
shit?
noise.
Yeah, like that. No, wouldn't do it. What would you do? Like, what would you do? Like, if your wife had a crazy
Like I
secret.
said, I already wouldn't. I don't even know how to rationalize it, man. Was she a?
No.
She was a serial killer, right?
She
Like
was.
she said it.
Yeah, she's a manipulator.
Okay, so that means the minute she left for the grocery and he went downstairs, she's maybe on the way to the grocery when he gets to the basement and opens it up.
Yeah,
So she turns about, she's probably there in 5-10 minutes.
that's true. He didn't even really have time.
No.
Still.
So she just was, she had the time to be careful.
She did. That's still crazy.
I
shit.
wouldn't even have made it through the first video.
No,
man.
fuck no.
The minute I opened that laptop, booted up, and look at it, she might have had enough time to get back to me by then.
I still would have punched her in the
But I
head.
still would have tried to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you get out of there.
And how funny is it that it ends with, he doesn't even die.
Yeah. Like, somehow he makes it through.
He blacks out, but survives. And the cops bust in to find her
Killing him?
torturing him.
Yeah. She didn't even go for the kill. She couldn't do it. That kind of, like, saved his life a little bit.
I wouldn't even say she couldn't do it. I think she was working her way up.
That's
to
what I'm
it.
saying.
I think she wanted to relish it.
Yeah, she did. She did. Like, thankfully, that's the way she murdered for him.
Hot ice block.
What does that mean, bro? How do you heat up an ice block?
I'm trying to think about it, and I think it means like
CO2 ice?
I'm thinking like dry ice.
Had to be. Had to be.
Because that melts the skin. It
Yeah,
blisters the skin.
it does. You can't touch it.
It'll It'll
Fuck you right up.
Fuck you right up.
Yeah, don't put it on your dick.
You heard it from the doctor, folks.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Don't
something
put
I
it on-
advise
don't
to
put it
not
on
do.
your dick.
Don't put dry ice on your dick, man. You'll regret it.
Oh
Trust
man,
me.
I also think Dating Game was the strongest of all the
Right?
stories tonight. But I gotta admit, none of them really disappointed me. that
No,
much.
same, dude. I could have kept reading for like ever.
Yeah, it's a fun concept. I'm glad you had fun on your first episode.
I did, dude.
I
Didn't hurt at all.
I felt a series of emotions, and I will notate that to the edible that I have consumed.
Good.
It was quite juicy indeed.
I can't wait till you finish the rest of it.
Yeah, man.
It's a good time. It is. Mixed with the pens and shit.
I believe it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So, Dr. Enkenstein.
Yeah.
Drankenstein. Yeah.
Do you think people waited this long to get that?
I think what I should say is you're welcome. Is what I think. I think I've been trying to say that since like episode like 40. Like you're
all welcome.
This is great. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Like
Enjoy.
here's some great fun bullshit
Yeah.
that you can listen to
I agree.
while you're driving home from work.
Wherever. Or just masturbating or
Or you're I've been told that you clean your apartment and then you put this on in the background.
Yeah,
and just think about it.
Make sure you
You
get
just think about it. Think about the sultry voices and the
Lanky
and the
Lucifer's
scary,
voice, though.
scary. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you think of the scary stories, and you start to get all wet, and you start to get all fucking hot,
And then someone
and
gets...
then you get scared, and you get real spooked.
Yeah, you don't want to spook yourself. It's when you get spooked and poop your pants.
Spoopty poopty pants.
Do not spook yourself.
That's what we call it.
I'm telling you, it's Halloween. I don't want you to use that lingo.
Oh man, I mean this isn't gonna air for a little while, but we're recording this like a week before Halloween. So
Yeah, dude.
like shit's about to get for shizzy.
It's going to be awesome. It's a good time. It's a good time of year.
Oh, it's the best. I always go all out on Halloween.
Yeah, dude,
It's,
you doing Jason this year or was that last year?
That was last year.
And who are you doing this year?
Oh well, I mean,
I can't tell.
I'm gonna cut it, but my girlfriend and I are being.
Oh, awesome.
Except we're doing. Dude,
I gotta see pictures of
Let
this.
me fucking show you this shit.
Dude.
I'm not fucking making it up.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it, obviously.
No, it's cool, but you're gonna have to.
We need to figure out something to end the episode with. I mean, like, you're coming back, and next time we're gonna do what? We're gonna do one single story throughout the entire thing. I think so too, and I actually would even be willing to like give you a longer narrative if you wanted to like hop into a 2-parter next time.
That'd be awesome.
So we can have you back for at least 2 more episodes where we just tell like one big story.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta end the fucking episode.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, she's such a fucking babe.
Why can't you keep that on there?
No, we can't talk about my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, shit, fuck. Yeah, sorry. People might know that.
People would know.
Could you imagine?
People would know so much about her.
Yeah, they'd know too much about her. Like, she'd be so identifiable. Like, we don't want that.
I don't think so, but it's still just too much about me and my personal life.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd like to keep my Thotimus Prime out of the public eye.
You're absolutely right.
So
because
then,
Thotimus.
Thotimus Prime.
Awesome. Dude.
Roll out.
That's a good personality trait.
More likely than not is she gives me about 10 before she wants to do it again, and I'm just like, give me another 10.
Seriously. But then it's like, for me, then the pressure becomes on. Like in my head, I'm like talking to my dick in my head. Like,
and I'm like, you better fucking make this happen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like coaching them and shit.
Oh, man. Coaching them to the game. Taking the kids to the game.
He's like, what? I gave him my best shot. I'm like, dude, your best shot was 10 seconds. You gotta go a little...
I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. You heard it from your doctor, folks.
Yeah, man.
You better get your dick checked.
Yeah, for real, dude. Everyone get their dick checked.
If you are not hard by the end of this episode, what have you been listening to?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're gay. You're fucking homosexual.
Yeah, but, like, I don't mean it that way. Like, I hate that gays turned into, like, oh, you like fucking dudes. Like, it just means you're kind of whack. Like,
oh, you just mean whack.
Yeah.
I like to say whack. You should just say whack.
You know, I just
whack
can't, man.
Is good.
I just can't, man. It's like, it's fucking gay.
His clothes, whack.
Gay.
His jewelry, whack. His shirts, whack. The way he treat you, whack. The way he don't even look nice when he looking at you and taking you out at night, whack.
Dude,
I'm dead as fuck.
Dude, that's the fucking guy in the first fucking story. He's that song. He's 32, working at Burger King, has a flip phone.
Oh.
Like, shows up in dirty Walmart clothes. That's the guy in the song. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's a pretty good ending.
End it.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy.